A wonderful good day, good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, wherever in the world you are. My name is Gaby Burt. I'm speaking on behalf of The Journey and Brandon Bays. And I have next to me Claire Timmerman, who is our Director for Operations. And I'm the International Director overall. But we wanted to come here today to talk about the upcoming Journey Intensive, which is the Journey's entry-level course. And so often we get questions, people asking, they're not sure, is this for me? If I have this, what about this? And both of us kind of have different inboxes and different questions coming our way. And we felt it would be wonderful to actually address some of these questions and go public with it. And if you are here, if you are joining us today and there are any additional questions that we're not covering here, then please feel free to type it in the chat box and we see if we can cover it. But a heartfelt welcome and thank you for joining us. And one of the questions that I so often get, and it's like, who is this for? You know, is this really for me? I have this or this, or I'm this or this. And so is this for me? Who is it for? Is one of the big questions. And the truth is, it doesn't matter whether you have a physical or an emotional issue or a relationship issue or something that kind of doesn't go away no matter how hard you try, then the Journey is the perfect tool for that. It is also for those who may be seeking to add additional tools into their box of therapy tools. There may already be a practitioner or a therapist of some kind, and the Journey would add an immense value to everyone, whether that is a medical doctor, whether that's a massage therapist, a psychologist, no matter what, it would add tremendously to everyone, because in the Journey, we're addressing everything from the root cause, what puts something in place. And 80% of all illness, 80% of all discomfort somehow is coming back or is leading back to an emotional root cause. That's even something that the Center for Disease Control in the States has published some years ago. And so the Journey is exactly addressing that. So the emotional root cause of what puts something in place. Even if we don't think there is an emotional root cause, believe it or not, there always is. And so that's from 27 years of experience of having been around the Journey, having been with Brandon, having seen thousands of people heal from all kinds of issues. And as I said, you know, emotional issues can be a depression, that can be a fatigue syndrome, or long COVID, as people call it, you know, sort of tiredness, exhaustion, overwhelm. All of those fall in the category of emotional issues. And then the physical issues is any illness under the sun, you know, going from rheumatism to cancer to COVID even. Everything has a consciousness. Every illness has a consciousness. And in the Journey, we can address that. It's a very, very powerful tool to free ourselves from that. So who is the Journey for? Everyone. Everyone, no matter whether you're young, whether you are older, whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter how much you are educated in the field of physical healing or personal growth. It doesn't matter. It's the first step. And from this first step, you can always decide how far you want to take it. It's the entry level. And this is where we're learning processes and process work that we would hope and pray that people use for the rest of their lives. Claire, what kind of questions have you had?
Well, you touched on people with physical issues, and I'm glad you did, because we get a lot of people who are obviously, some people have got cancer and they're going through chemotherapy or all kinds of different illnesses or diseases. And one of the questions we often get is, can I do this alongside my treatment? And the answer is, yeah, absolutely. Of course you can. It can only support and benefit whatever it is that you're doing, and whatever it is you've agreed with your medical doctors or whoever, or your natural therapists. But yes, it can only support whatever it is you're doing, because as you said, Gaby, it gets to the underlying root cause. So it supports you on an emotional level as well. So yes, absolutely, you can do this alongside any other treatment that you're doing. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's great. Thank you very much. And talking about illness, one of the questions that also I have had or saw mentioned a few times is people are concerned that what happened in the past, if they're kind of, is this, am I opening a Pandora's box? If I go through old trauma or previous trauma again, am I being re-traumatized? And there is, trauma is this kind of new word on the block at the moment. Everything is about trauma. And, I think we all have been traumatized at one point in life or another. Some people more, some people less. Will we be re-traumatized if we go back to this time? Absolutely not. This is where the journey is so different, because if we uncover something or if something comes up that we are working with, it really gets completed and cleared out. And this is something where the journey stands out and is so very different from so many other modalities that I know of, because there is completion. There is long-lasting healing, and there is completion. So even if there was abuse in childhood, there is wholeness. Once I use the journey to clear these issues out, then it's gone. It's finished. It's actually, I have a little program that's called Real Talk. And I spoke to a beautiful lady from Germany who is actually a singer, and she experienced severe sexual abuse as a youngster, as a young lady, a young girl, and she came on my program to share with everyone that it's there is life after abuse. You can clear it out, and the journey has the tools to be absolutely complete with that. And so, will there be a Pandora's box where everything opens and everything bubbles up at the same time? No. It's almost like there are layers. We are layered. We have different layers of when or at which point we need to look at certain issues. And our body's intelligence knows exactly at which point and when. And that is the time when it comes up. And in the journey, we have not only the opening, the entry-level weekend, but we also have a community where we encourage people to stay within the community, to continue to work. And so it's so easy to find a partner, to swap a process, and to make it a habit, to make it a lifelong. I've been doing this for 27 years, and I still do journey processes today, and I don't know what I would do without it. And this is something I hear from all my journey friends. I wouldn't know what to do without it. I wouldn't know how to go through, or how I would have gone through the 3 years of COVID, or the current, political threats, or weather stuff, or global warming, whatever is happening. And we have such a huge, beautiful support system. And so we encourage everyone who's come to the journey to continue, not to continue with the journey, but to continue clearing out, because we have, I think, so many issues that we came in with, were born with, and also accumulated during our lifetime through childhood. And it's time we clear it out. I think we are facing a new era right now, and it's time to let go of the old, to let go of all of the baggage that we've been carrying for so long, and open into freedom, open into something that is love and light, if you want to call it that. So I don't want to get too spiritual here, but it's possible.
I
And
just want to come back actually, Gaby, to something that you've said, because as you said, you know, people are concerned that it might open up Pandora's box and that these issues might come up. It's a great reason to come and do the Journey Intensive, because it teaches you those tools, the foundational tools during that 2 or 3 days if you stay for the bonus day, and you get the tools and you can use them whenever something else comes up that you feel like you need to work on. So once you've learned them, you've got access to them for always. You know?
yeah.
And also one of the questions that we get quite often is, because inevitably, you know, people who have experienced abuse or any kind of issue that has stuck with them specifically, any kind of trauma or stuff, they get nervous about coming to a Journey Intensive weekend because they might not have ever done anything like this before, and they're not sure that they've got the skills and the tools to do it. So we get lots of questions like that, you know, is it really for me? Can I really do it? And we would say, yes, this is the whole point of the Journey Intensive, is to come along. We teach you, we take you step by step through learning the emotional journey process, the foundational reason why it's, you know, taught this way, why it is this way, why we're doing what we're doing. And then you get the actual script. You get to undergo it, you swap it with a partner. And not only that, but at every single Journey Intensive, we've got a whole host of trainers who are there to support. And the trainers are people who have done the whole practitioner program. And while they're not there to give you the process one-to-one, they are there to support you, whatever comes up. So they're on hand, you know, you push a button, you call it ask for help within the Zoom room, and they're just there within moments, and they love to come and support and help you with whatever is arising. So yes, you can do it. It is possible. We walk you through everything step by step throughout the whole weekend, and the trainers are there to support you. So yes, anyone can do it. Everyone can do it.
Fantastic. That's great. And, you know, it is for everyone, as I said earlier, and as you said, everyone can do it. And especially in light of what you were saying, there is also, sometimes this is even connected with almost self-worth issues. Am I good, you know, am I good enough to do this? And even that is already an issue that you can clear out on the first day, because it's just an emotion that we are addressing. And it's so sad that so many people believe in the emotions that show up, like I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or I'm not a therapist, or I'm not this, I'm not. And it's like, you know, there is something that is that is so unique with the journey and Brandon's work. Brandon offers us the opportunity to open beyond emotional layers into an infinite field that is known by 1,000 names. And you can call it love, you can call it light, you can call it infinite intelligence, you can call it source, you can call it quantum field, whatever name you recognize that it as. But this is happening on the first day of the Journey Intensive. And if there was such a thing as a holy grail of something that stays with you forever, it's exactly this. And that is what brought me to the journey in the first place all those years ago. And this is why I'm still here, because there isn't anything else that I know that connects us with this boundless love, with this grace, with this infinite intelligence. And if that is who I am, then how can that not be perfect or good enough? It has to be. And coming home to that part of you is the greatest gift on planet Earth. So I think from that, you know, I also would love to address, I'm mixing up our questions a little bit, Claire, because I'm kind of, you know, it's
it leads into
there is no value to be attributed to this, because coming home to yourself, recognizing yourself as this infinite presence, as religion knows it, as the peace that passeth understanding, as the kingdom of God that dwells within. And I'm absolutely not religious at all, but we've all heard those words. But that is what you'll experience on the first day of the Journey Intensive. How much is that worth? What's the value of that? I don't know. How much is it, Claire? What's your thing on value?
I will wear a practicality head and tell you that the actual cost of the weekend is €247. Now, in terms of what's the value on that, for me, it's you can't put a price tag on it, because, like I said, once you've got these tools, once you've got the foundational process, you've got it for life. So how you can ever put a price tag on that, I don't know. But the weekend costs €247. And of course, for some people, that's a drop in the ocean. For some people, they find that a stretch. And for other people, it's not manageable. So all I would say is, if you're ready, if you can do it, the time is now, and please go ahead and book it. And if you feel like you need help and support, if you need to stretch the payments, we have payment plans to stretch it over several months. And if you really are one of those people who just can't afford it, then reach out to our team. I mean, we're an organisation that is one that wants to support people in getting access to these tools. So we'll support you in whatever way that we can. So I know that Chris is going to post some links. Chris is here as our support. He's going to post some links for those of you who are ready to book, and for those of you who might want to have a conversation and see how we can support you. He'll be doing that shortly. So yeah. I think one of the other questions is why now? Why would I do it now?
Exactly. Why would I do it now? Because it's the last event of 2023. It's the last event of 2023. We do these events regularly on all time zones in quite a few languages. And at the I haven't got the date in my head at the moment, but it's actually this coming weekend now.
18th to the 20th of November.
18th to the 20th of November is the Journey Intensive, both on the European time zone, on the Australian time zone. We offer it and we offer translation with this one in Czech, in German.
Just check.
Czech translation. Okay. So it's in English with Czech translation. And so just because it's the last event of the year is not a good enough reason. Also, because the next one, there will be another one next year in February. And there is a beautiful opportunity right now for anyone who may have an idea or something. If you really fall in love with this work and you want to take this to the next level, or you feel like you want to take and step into the Journey Practitioner program, actually, if you're starting now, if you're starting at this Journey Intensive, you could complete the whole training, which normally takes a whole year. You could be complete with your training by May 2024. So if you want to fast track for a Journey Practitioner program, now is the time. If you want to fast track your awakening, your spiritual growth, your jumping board into freedom, into a more fulfilled, wholesome life, then now is the time, because the sequential advanced courses that let you move on to all of the next courses are all scheduled from November until May. And it's actually not even so close together that it's impossible. So that would be a really good reason. So if you're working on something that's been with you, that you know that's been with you for a long time, these 6 months could be absolutely life transforming. If you want to add some therapy skills to your toolbox, then all it takes is this 6 months. And if you just feel like you're really ready to throw yourself into come home to yourself, I think is a very simple expression. Come home to yourself and clear out anything that no longer serves you. Then now is the time. So that's a good reason why now. I've got, I had another question, and I'm just wondering whether you'd like to address that, Claire, because you are, I mean, I'm doing some of these events as well, but you are there at so many of them. And one of the things that I often love to talk about, and I'm sure you hear those questions too, is does it work online?
Does it work online?
We're now online, you know?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm going to keep it really short because I've got a very bad tickle in my throat. Yes, it works. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. You only have to listen to all of the people who have gone through it, which is thousands, I think, now online, and it's amazing. Yes, it works online.
Okay, and then I'll add to it because I don't have a tickle in my throat.
Yes.
Then I'll add to it. It's okay. I'll add to it because one of the things that I realize, and I've become so aware, that the way we are offering these programs with the trainer support, with Zoom, with the breakout rooms, with people being able to cross processes, just like this, like you see Claire and me sitting here, like in an online environment, there's absolutely no different. The results that we're getting at the end of any retreat are equally as powerful, as profound, as deeply healing as they have been when we were in a live seminar room. I even go as far as to say that I notice that when people are working at home in their own kind of bubble, in their own room, there is less resistance. There is no concern about what somebody else next to me might think. It's like there is a greater availability, a greater openness, and less resistance than I was aware of when we were in a live seminar room. So does it work online? Absolutely, yes, it does. In some cases, I even believe it works better. And not only that, but the support that we can offer nowadays with follow-up, with community, with staying in the energy, with continuing your processes, all of that in the past was difficult because you always had to go somewhere. You always had to travel somewhere. And now you just open your laptop, you click a link, and here you are, you know? So yes, and it's easier than before. Sorry?
It's also the privacy, I think, that's created between you
Yeah.
and your partner. You know, you don't feel like you're being watched by anyone else. And like I
Yes.
said, when the trainer comes in to support, it's just
Yeah.
There's another question on top of that, Gaby. Is even more so, does the process itself work? You know, not just about online, but does the journey process work? And I think, well, we can both say yes to that.
we have thousands of people in the journey who know that it works, you know, and we have beautiful testimonials. If you want, you know, if you care to go on our website on thejourney.com and just listen to some of the people, how it has transformed their life. But what the journey really does it work? It does require you to be honest with yourself. It does require you to kind of come and participate in your own healing journey. There's no one out there who can do it for you. There is no way around, you know, this question of, do I get re-traumatized? The trauma is inside of you. It needs to come out, and nobody can take it out of you. The only person who can do that is you. And yes, it may bring up tears, it may bring up emotions that you don't like, but a journey process usually takes around 60 to 90 minutes. So if you undergo kind of a process, you know that after that time, there is completion. There is absolute completion. And if you've cried during that 90 minutes, so what? You know, these are issues that have been with us for decades, sometimes since childhood. And it's time. It's really, really time to let go. Does it work? Yes, it absolutely works. And thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have healed from all kinds of issues can vouch for that, have spoken about that, and have left testimonials and have been on camera and spoken about it. You can take our word for it or just check it out on the website. But I think those are the main kind of questions that we wanted to address here. Is it for you? That we've kept it so that the journey intensive is over 2 days. The cost is 247. The third day is a bonus day. We're not forcing you to come to the third day. What we find is that actually 90% of the people stay for the third day because they want to take it. And our team is committed, dedicated, and we've all been around for a long time. Claire, how long have you been around?
Oh, since about 1998. So
2 years less than me. So mine was 1996, and your husband has been around. Arnold is actually co-hosting the Journey Intensive for Europe.
2002, I think.
Pardon?
I think since about 2002 when he
2002. So we're all oldies in the journeys here, and we're
the work in itself,
Yeah, we are young at heart, and we love what we do, and we would love for this work to find its way into so many more households, so many more families, because it isn't just for the person who is undergoing the work. It kind of catches on. It if one person in the family has undergone a journey, it somehow infuses the household. The kids get it, the children get it. We're kind of shifting. We're shifting ourselves, and the people around us can shift too. So I think that kind of covers the questions that I wanted to cover here today. Have you got anything else on yours?
It covers everything I had as well. So I would just say, if there are any other questions out there, you can always email support@thejourney.com, and our lovely team will be there to help you.
Perfect. And if you still have more questions, there's also an FAQ on our events page, for the Journey Intensive, the more practical side of it, how long does it take? What time do we start in the morning? What time do we finish? All of that you find on that page. But it's just, there are 2 full days. The third day is optional, and it can change your life. If you throw yourself in, if you are willing to roll up your sleeve with a huge heart, with a prayer, to let go of some of the stuff that we've accumulated throughout life, then you are in for an amazing time. And I have a feeling that you may just want to continue and continue this work, and really own the journey tools and make them part of your life. That's our experience, and it's very easy nowadays. Have we had any more questions? I don't think so. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us here today. Thank you, Claire, for being here, also for speaking about the Journey Intensive and some of these questions, and having the opportunity to answer them here. Thanks very much, and goodbye. I hope we see you at the weekend. Yes. There's still time to register now. Thank you.